Egypt never ceases to amaze, and day 6 of the Nile Conference here at the BAL-Africa League is guaranteed to churn up even more drama. We've got 2 games today, both are massive. So much can still happen in the chase for a place for Kigali. First up, Guinea-Conakry SLAC, who won their first game on Tuesday, and the unbeaten Angolan giants of Petro and Luanda. The Egyptian gods will be rubbing their hands in anticipation as we gear up for this huge encounter. Usher Kumagisha is in the hot seat tonight, hoping we can get some hot action from the Egyptian capital. Respect for the SLAC coach as we take a look at the SLAC starting 5, Usher.
It is the same starting 5 from yesterday's game against City Oilers. Uchenna Irogbo, the Nigerian international, joined by Emeka Nwabuzo, another Nigerian. Ibrahima Fofana, second start for him in the Nile Conference. Ismail Konde, and that man, Dan Miller Jr. Yesterday, he was 2 rebounds away from a triple-double. He'll want to repeat that today.
Let's take a look at the starting 5 for Petro Luanda. Dundao, Moraes, Pedro, Gonçalves, Gaku. You don't change the team that's winning.
Absolutely, and Abubakar Gaku, originally from Guinea, playing against his fellow countrymen. He'll be very proud to see that he helps Petro win this one. But it's going to be a good fixture, this one.
Let's hear from Coach Neto. And he's doing great stuff down in Angola with this team as we get ready for the tip-off. We're about to enter the fray. A win for Petro Luanda will secure them their place in Kigali. SLAC really need to get themselves a second victory to really make a statement out here. They take possession from tip-off. Fofana in possession, Konde. Dane Miller Jr. up against Pedro. The ball flies out of bounds and they'll get possession back.
It is good eyes there and defense from Carlos Moraes. He's locked in. He's the captain of this Petro de Luanda side, and they really want to get things going from the very first possession.
Good ball outside and a long-range shot that falls. It's a fantastic score from that man, Fofana.
Fofana, the captain of the SLAC side, starting off nicely. Good leadership there, but a great three-pointer and timely to get them rolling in this fixture.
Just inside of the arc, in fact, and so it's only 2 points for that score. But difficult to see down there. There was a lot of traffic. And there's the Dundao going up and trying to find points. The first points for Petro Luanda. It's a very fast, slick start, isn't it, as they go in search of steals. Noabuzor, it's been so effective for SLAC, and they haven't played poorly in any of their games. Oh, the under and up score. It's a beautiful 2 points for Noabuzor.
It's great to see the strategy that SLAC are using in this game. Dane Miller Jr. coming down with the ball and avoiding that paint on the offensive side as Nwabuzo penetrates the paint.
Johnny Pedro doing really well, just getting the better of that man Ismail Konde, who holds his face, a little bit of contact, but he's absolutely fine.
It's going to be a great matchup in this fixture. Konde up against Johnny Pedro on both ends of the court, and they're already showing signs of a good contest.
And just going to get the lay of the land here. I think there was an off-the-ball incident. And it might be Childe Dundao who's picked up a foul on that occasion. No, it's Gaku, in fact, isn't it? Gaku with the first foul within the first couple of minutes. Irogbo, so effective. One of the 2 Nigerians, Fofana. Plenty of quality players from Guinea. Konde looks for options, shot clock down and out. And that's too late for Dane Miller Jr. Didn't keep an eye on the clock there, Usher. That's something they've got to be careful about.
It's very good defense there from Petro. You can see the celebration there from Coach Neto. That's where he wants Petro to be consistent, but it's still early in this game.
What a pass. Oh, that's fantastic play as well. Dundao just offering the ball to Johnny Pedro, but the ball that came out from Moraes was sensational.
It is great eyes there from Shilde, not to be selfish.
Nice pass as well into the paint. Just getting himself clear for Fana. Back out to Miller. They've got to keep an eye on the shot clock this time. Miller goes for the long-range three-pointer, but it doesn't fall. Dundao racing up court at the other end. Gaku goes down. It's a sneaky play, intelligent play from Gaku.
He's picked up there by Conde. I'm sure they have a couple of words to say to each other in a language they understand.
In possession. Shot clock down to 10. Johnny Petro, Dundao around the outside, going into the corner, isolated, tries to get the pass back. It's a wild pass, and it's been picked up by Miller. Miller's there, looks for support around the outside. That is neatly done, beautifully done, in fact, by Nwabuzo.
It's a great finish there from Nwabuzo. He continues from where he stopped yesterday against the Oilers. He has a good eye on the basket, and easy 2 points for the Nigerian. Gonsalves tries to find Petro. That's just not happening. And just a giveaway pass, isn't it? The transition could have led to points, but Gaku goes up. And the attempt to try and put it back in there from Gonsalves doesn't happen, but he draws the foul. Gonsalves, one of the 4 players on the court that came through the Petro de Luanda grassroots system. They've consistently been the best team in Angola, and they're playing in their 3rd straight season here at the BAL. But this time, they want that trophy, and to get that trophy, they need to qualify for the playoffs. That's why today's game is very, very important for the Angolan champions.
Fofana picking up the first foul for SLAC. Just with that challenge on Gonsalves. Yeah, they're on a mission, aren't they, Usher?
You can see it in their face. They have their game faces on, more than we've seen in the Nile Conference so far. They've been taking one game at a time. They're growing in confidence ahead of Friday's fixture against Ahly, the hosts.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but everybody's, you know, just tagging that encounter as the clash of the giants, of course. 2 strong teams going head-to-head who are unbeaten so far. We'll see what happens. Let's get back to the action. SLAC in possession. Iroegbu around the outside. He's got lots of speed. Oh, he's been knocked off his feet there. Gaku driving through, but excellent work there from SLAC, drawing the foul from Gaku, and Gaku will pick up his 2nd foul. And that'll give us a chance to go across the queue to get his thoughts on the fast SLAC start against this Petro Luanda team.
They've done outstandingly well again. The style of play we saw yesterday in their win, they're slowing it down, they're being considered in possession, and every single time they go late into the shot clock, they're either getting the foul or they're getting a bucket, and by controlling possessions, they can stay in the game.
Dane Miller Jr. this time drawing the foul, and this time Johnny Petro Carlos Moraes picks up his first foul. There he is in the shot there. And they got a chance to move ahead with Miller Jr. at the free throw line.
Yeah, Miller Jr., he's averaging 39.9 minutes in this Nile Conference. He's the most dependable player for SLAC. They need him to be perfect every time he touches the ball, and he makes no mistake on that free throw line.
Only you are bettering that, Usher. Full 40.
Well, yes, that's a good point. The 2 of us, of course.
You're not alone. Q as well, come on. Here we go, and the rest of the team, and everybody else is making this wonderful competition possible in the broadcast department. Moraes picks it up, looks, tries to find Petro again. They've just got their eyes around it. This good peripheral vision here by SLAC, who are making themselves available, chasing and hunting down possession.
It's a good fight there from Dundao. He always has his defensive antics awake, and he gives Petro de Luanda an opportunity to have possession this time and to build and see if they can reduce that deficit against SLAC.
Yeah, Fofana with his second personal foul, which is a bit of a blow for SLAC so early on, of course, as we see Gaku, oh, it's been knocked out of his hands. Slick bit of the Cobra hands from that man, Dane Miller Jr., and up he goes. Dundao, there's the rebounds, and there is contact. Dane Miller Jr. this time will pick up his first foul. Quite a physical encounter because no one wants to allow anybody to get their shot in, especially when they're going into the paint.
Yeah, it's going to be a long afternoon for Dan Miller Jr. as he plays defense in that paint. He has to come up against Gaku, against Petro, and some of the times, of course, he'll have to get those fouls.
Showing it Pedro, father played for the Angolan national team. Grew up in Germany, played in Germany, played in Portugal, grew up in the Netherlands as well. And a change with Fofana, just being replaced by Mara, who's proving to be quite a sensation for this SLAC team, coming on, nearly getting into double figures yesterday in their win over the City Oilers. Here we go with Miller taking the ball up into enemy territory. It's 7 points for SLAC, 8 for Petro de Luanda, less than 5 to go. Miller, that's a good pass, that's nicely done. The layup is sensational. And Ismail Condé gets his points, his first of this game. Dundao. Hollis coming on for Gaku. Into the corner they go. Moraes over the top, made safe and taken up court. 3 against 1, an opportunity here. They're very quick to get back though, aren't they, Asha?
Yeah. They're very fast, SLAC. They've been consistent since the start of the game, and you have to give it to them.
Miller Jr. up to 3. That's a fine score indeed. Oh, look at that. That's great play to get the ball out to Carlos Moraes. He's not got his shooting range sorted just yet. Miller picks it up. It's Miller going in for the dunk. 2 straight scores from the American.
Miller with precision there in the air, just making sure that SLAC keep going. They're resilient, and you have to give it up to them, really.
Dundao, Gonsalves, back out to Dundao. Shot clock down to 4. You need to go for the basket now. That's, well, an attempt. Hollis picks it up. Hollis goes again. That's a good rebound from Hollis.
A nice finish there from Hollis, cleaning up nicely and giving Petro the much-needed 2 points to level up.
3:20 left to go. This is a long-range shot that's been successfully defended there by Pedro. Taken up court here by Justin Gonsalves, goes in and drives through the traffic with a fine layup.
Looking at Condé, he tried to come in and play good defense there, but Lukeni, perfect from that drive.
I want to go across to QQ. This is the ideal start for SLAC, really going in fast and trying to destabilize Petro de Luanda.
They have done fantastic, and I just love their control of every possession. They're not rushing. They're forcing the defense to try and increase the tempo. And Dane Miller Jr. is front and center of the offensive decisions. They're forcing Petro to think about what needs to happen on the defensive end, and it's been a great first quarter for SLAC.
Q, you're going to have to go and do a little bit of work now and do a little bit of spying. We're going to take a small break. Timeout time. It's 13 points for SLAC, 12 for Petro de Luanda. Back to the Dr. Hassan Mustafa Sports Hall here in Cairo. And there you go. Get to know Mr. Miller Jr., D. Mills, Fried Snapper, Pascal Siakam, I Love You by Donald Jones, Egypt and South Africa. Well, there you go. That's Dane Anthony Miller Jr.'s little bit of information about who he is.
Yeah, incredible to see that he has always wanted to visit Egypt. Well, he's playing in the Nile Conference, and he'll be remembered here in Egypt for his performances.
Oh, it's a little steal turnover. Majok coming on and trying to add some more extra strength to this team. Or does it really need it? Diabate's there as well. Majok going through and scoring the 2.
That's a great introduction to this game. Majok has been coming off the bench, but been effective.
And then just look what Miller Jr. does. That's just sensational, that is. Despite the size of those giants down in the paint, he still manages to find a way through. Talking of giants in the broadcasting industry, let's go across to Q.
Well, thanks a lot, Robbie. And just out of that timeout, a lot of talk from Coach Jose Neto of defensive adjustments. Once the driving lanes closed up, a nice block by Majok. And if they focus on that, he believes that they'll be able to secure a couple more possessions and chances on the other end.
That's a big score, that is, from Carlos Moraes. High over the top and in. 2 points to him, and he's up to 3 points now.
He's been knocking on that door. He failed to down the other 2 attempts, but finally, his 3rd time lucky with that one.
There's Dave Miller Jr. just going up and tries to, with a reverse jump shot. Doesn't happen. Gonsalves. Oh, it's been snatched out of the sky before Hollis can get his hands on it. This man here, very dangerous. That is a massive three-pointer from Nabazor, the Nigerian hitman from downtown.
Sublime finish there from Nwabuzo to take him to 7 points for SLAC. He's been really amazing and consistent throughout this Nile Conference, Nwabuzo.
19-year-old Mara, frustrated that he doesn't get possession back for the team from Guinea-Conakry, the West Africans. It's Moraes for the Angolan Giants who will get possession. We're into the last minute, 18-17, and anybody's game as it stands. We know how dangerous Petro are. We know how dangerous SLAC are. Driving through the middle, Gonsalves goes for the layup. That is sensational. The boulevard just opened up.
It's so beautiful when you see a left-handed player just always having fun against right-handed players whose minds are always tuned to defending that way.
No one really understanding where that should have gone, but this is Majok getting the ball out. Gonsalves tries to get that shot in, doesn't fall. They pick it up. Transition galore happening here. That is sublime, right in front of Majok. I think he winked at him at the same time. Iro Egbu, outrageously good. There's Moraes down in the corner. Oh, top quality from Moraes. We know how deadly he is down in the corner, downtown, out wide, down in the suburbs, out of town.
It is back-to-back three-pointers for the captain. Moraes is in fine form at the end of this first quarter, and things are looking great for the Angolan champions as they have a 2-point lead here.
Yes, after the first quarter, SLAC 20, Petro Luanda 22. Game on here in Cairo in the BAL. Yes, welcome back to the Hassan Mustafa Sports Hall here in Cairo. And SLAC trailed by 2 points to Petro Luanda. The scenario has been fast and furious. That's what we've had on our plate today. And for all of you who are watching, there's Carlos Moraes, 2 back-to-back three-pointers, top quality of the highest order. Everybody's chipping in and showing us what they're capable of doing. This Petro Luanda team fully capable of taking center stage, but SLAC are here and they want to qualify for Kigali.
You have to give credit to SLAC and how they've started this game, considering how tough their fixture yesterday was against the City Oilers, and just really picking up nicely and starting and giving Petro proper headache.
It's a very good block on Majok. That rarely happens, and he's furious down there in the paint, which is totally understandable at the other end. This man goes up and he delivers. He delivers every single time. You see Iroegbu.
Trainer Iroegbu.
Beautiful score from downtown. Hollis, the man.
That's really enough to give them a lead here. Petro, they want to maintain that, but also make it larger than that. But they'll have to play better defense than they have so far in this game.
SLAC looking to try and get themselves here. Iroegbu goes once again, doesn't manage to find the points, and it goes down into the corner. Gonsalves out to Moraes, goes for another three-pointer, and it's another score. Oh my!
9 points. Wow, for Carlos Moraes, 3 back-to-back three-pointers. He's literally the man with the hot hand, and they just want to keep feeding him. But SLAC will have to play defense on him to stop him. going forward.
Tried down in the other corner, didn't happen. Came back over to the left-hand side. It happens. That's what small adjustments are made. And that is a massive Nwabuzo trio of points. Big time.
Is the fast player in double digits, Nwabuzo. 10 points for the Nigerian. Real quick out of the blocks there as SLAC stay in this one.
Q, we need to go across to you because you must have listened in to hear the little adjustments that are being made. Petro turning it on with Moraes.
They are very aware, and it's interesting watching the dynamic between the veteran players on the floor. Moraes and Majok and Hollis all getting into the discussion of what needs to happen. But they're going to try and feed Majok as much ball as possible to see if he can take advantage of the matchups inside, and we might just see that be a feature here in the second quarter.
Majok, one of the best players in the history of the BAL, as we've seen over the past couple of years, now with Petro Luanda, and going for his second title. Won it with US Monastir with Solo Diabate last season, looking to try and do it again with Petro Luanda if they can get themselves through this Nile conference. 3 from 3 so far, looking good.
Yeah, looking good, but Majok is yet to find his rhythm here. SLAC know that he's one of the key players on the court, and they'll try to deny him on every possession.
Moraes. Majok back out to Hollis. Hollis getting rid of his man. That's nicely done. That's a fantastic piece of play. He shows us what he's capable of doing. He's got a full set of skills, Hollis, and finding his place within this group.
And that's the beauty about this Petro de Luanda side. They have very many options. Hollis being one of those, driving into the paint. He knows that he has a mismatch against Nwabuzo, and he literally gets him to foul, and he'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, nicest bloke in the world. He really is. Had a nice chat with him just before tip-off, and he was just saying he said a lot of things to take in for him to just find his place within this team, within a new country. He's not with his family. He's had to come in and understand the systems, the language, the adjustments, and try and find his way. And of course, they're going to go back to Angola before Kigali if they qualify, of course, and which means that afterwards, see what happens. But he's finding his place, and he loves the fact that everybody's making him feel welcome, just like Majok and Solo Diabate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that in the way that he's playing. It's a brotherly feel in the team, and it's just beautiful to experience.
Diabate with Hollis. Hollis makes the steal. It goes back into the hands of the Ivorian, puts it right into the hands of that man, Majok. Majok gets it on the outside, over the top. Hollis unable to get the rebound. Quick reaction from him, and Dane Miller Jr., watch out. He's going to try and take on Majok. Oh! It's a big score for Miller Jr. And he gets the foul.
It is a big performance there from Dane Miller Jr. on the fast break. Goes down the lane into Majok. Foul and basket, and that's exactly where Miller Jr. wants Petro de Luanda. And of course, you can see that Majok is not happy with that call there.
First foul for Majok, originally of South Sudan, will be playing in the World Cup with Lebanon, of course, later this year. Angola also qualified, Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, Cape Verde as well, and
yeah.
Egypt complete that 5-team list from Africa.
It's a steal, and they got possession. And of course, this man, UC Roegbu, waits for support. He's not scared of dancing between the giants, and this time Majok unable to get his hands on the ball. There's a little bit of contact, and that means that they'll get possession back. And Majok gets his second foul, it looks like. No, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. Just didn't manage to make the turnover, that's all. Over the top. Miller Jr. off the metal. Hollis does well. It was nearly poached from his hands in Roegbu. Hollis, well, get out of there. Get out of there. That was the statement there made by that man Fofana. Brilliant stuff in defense. Oh, again, Majok this time swats it away. They're going big time. Gonsalves goes up, and the foul's been committed by Fofana.
It was 3 against 1. It should have been a bucket there from Gonçalves. She'll be very disappointed that he was unable to finish. You can see it on his face. But Fofana, who now has 2 personal fouls, things are not looking good for the captain. But he'll have to do better going forward because he's been a very key player for SLAC in this tournament so far.
Gonçalves and Petro Luanda leading by 4 points. Well,
looking at that replay, Majok, of course, he was on the all-defensive team last season, an all-tournament 5 for US Monastir as they won their first BAL title, and he wants to do the same here, but there's so much basketball to be played today.
He's absolute gold, isn't he? There's Fofana getting some space, gets another chance and tries to go high off the boards. Oh, a little touch. And, well, a little bit of help there as well. That went in, and points go up on the scoreboard. It's 29-31. And look, it's another steal. Nobazor gets the ball out. Fofana, a little bit of space. Is he going to go for the shot? Iregbu gets the ball out, a long-range shot from down on the left-hand corner.
That's 2 fouls for Majok as he was contesting the ball with Conde. And frustration there for Jose Neto.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a timeout as well. I think that there's a little bit of communication that needs to take place between the coaches and their players. And but an interesting tussle here. Look, we're 14 minutes in, and we've got a 2-point difference between SLAC and Petro Luanda. They're being tested here as Sedjevic makes a call for a timeout. It's 29-31. We'll take a break. Welcome back to Cairo. SLAC, Guinea-Conakry, West African nation, beautiful nation. Go there if you can. Definitely worth the visit. 29, Petro Luanda of Angola, 31. Also a beautiful country, great history. Look at that spin and that score. That's how to do it. Ibrahima Doumbouya coming on and making his mark.
It is a great start for him there to just sort of fit in and get things going, get that confidence rolling for SLAC as they stay alive. And this game is tied, Robbie. This is the kind of basketball that we expect here at the BAL. And just looking at that replay there with Majok losing possession. Every time he gets the ball, there's 4 people that come up against him, and he can easily dish to his other teammates.
Yeah, that's first foul. Sorry, second foul for Mara. Mambrou Mara, as Solo Diabate has possession, gets the screen with Majok, former teammates. Oh, US Monastir, big score there from Diabate. 3 points in the bag. Merci beaucoup, as they say over in there. Long-range shot, big shot, big shot. Doesn't fall. Defensively, that's top-notch from Majok. They've got numbers up quickly in the transition. Moraes. Down into the corner. Hollis steps back, goes for 3. 3 for Hollis.
Such a beautiful 3-pointer from the baseline. He had space and acres of space, and he made no mistake. Gave Petro de Luanda the 3 points, and now they're sitting a little bit more comfortable than they were when this game started.
It was a very majestic little step back, wasn't it? Bided his time. Conde going up for a mid-range 2. Nails it. 33 points to 37.
There's a great reaction there from Conde.
Diabate getting the ball out. Moraes, surely he's got to hit it down. He knocks down a big 3-pointer. They're hitting them from all over the place.
Amazing there from Moraes. It's his 4th 3-pointer in this game, the captain of Petro.
And the block party from that man at Majok continues, but it was after that the call was made. This will give us a chance to go across to speak to Q. Q, what's the latest coming from the side of the court? It's a frenetic wild encounter, isn't it?
It's so fascinating, moving up and down both sides, but Coach Zečević really emphasizing aggression in his last time out. He wants his players to attack the paint with more aggression. He was looking at the team foul count and saying they need to draw a little bit more within the flow of their offense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. They get points from that move. That's Iroegbu again, up to 6 points now. Oh, the transition, you're talking about speed, Q. This is ridiculously fast.
It's amazing how Solo Diabate has taken up the mantle there as well, scoring.
Oh, get out of there. That was Majok at his finest. Marvelous Majok doing the business in defense.
He's not the best defensive player for nothing.
Hollis tries to drive through. That score will not count, but he does get fouled. Dumboya's first foul.
Oh, the timing there on Majok's block on Dan Miller Jr. is absolutely incredible.
Majok, Diabate calling for Buyamba. Buyamba's on. He's an excellent bench player as well. Oh, that's it. Gets a second chance. It goes in this time, and that's a good score for Majok. He'll take a lot from that. First points tonight.
Well, against Fofana and Miller Jr. should have done better on defense there, trying to stop Majok. But of course, they fear that if they do too much, they could pick up a foul.
Well, that pass from Miller Jr. just not falling into the path of Iroegbu. Look what he does. Diabate tries to sneak through the front door. The doors get jammed. He'll go to the free throw line.
Looking at SLAC and how they are organizing themselves and their defense, they'll have to do better because Solo Diabate up against Miller Jr., it's a mismatch, and that's their key player so far in this tournament. They don't want to lose him to the fouls. He's been amazing. Yesterday we talked about how he was just 2 rebounds away from the tournament's first triple-double. He's playing the heaviest minutes in this Nile Conference and in the whole of Season 3. But I guess that's why Coach Zečević has called that timeout.
35-44. 35-44, this is a 9-point lead. This is the biggest lead for Petro Rwanda, but those fast points that they've been scoring has basically enabled them to go ahead because they are meticulously known to be perfectionists, especially because they spend so much time working on those moves. When Moraes goes out, he's hit those 3-pointers for a reason, but as soon as they close him down, they have another option, and they literally just go around and rotate their moves until they actually get back to Moraes again. And he'll be hitting the 3-pointers maybe in the third quarter because they'll just come around because they've got a multitude of attacking options.
Petro de Luanda, very deeply talented team, and now with that man, Ater Majok, they have the piece of the puzzle that was missing out. You can see that they're playing differently from what they executed in Season 3, going all the way to the final in Kigali, losing to US Monastir, but this is a whole different ball game. They want to show that they can take care of business here in the Nile Conference before they face Ahly on Friday.
Solo Diabate, of course, and Hollis, the other players who have just been just brought into this squad. Coach Zečević talking a lot with Dane Miller Jr. there. What was he saying? What's the talk coming from the sideline?
He's trying to fire up his players. He really wants to see a little bit more intensity and passion. And I know it's a tough call, but you know they've got a little bit of tired legs. And I just wonder how fatigue will play in the second half. But these are very passionate players, and we can expect competition, I think, all the way through.
Yeah, they've been playing big games, haven't they? And, I think that they learned their lesson after their first encounter where they played 32 minutes and then they let it just slip away. And that was a tricky scenario for them. But they've understood how to fight back. And they've understood how to win now. So they just want to play against Majok, playing the game that he loves. Big statement dunk there from the big man.
You can see the look on his face, Majok. He was getting in those blocks, and now he has his dunk. His confidence is right up there, and that's what you want. A very confident Majok is very dangerous and hard to deal with.
Buyamba with a layup, and 2 more go in, and all of a sudden you blink, and that's what they do, Petro. They go straight for it. They know how to get fast points. Dane Miller Jr. into the last 2 minutes we go. He's being hounded. Nwabuzor gets the ball out into the corner. Iruegbu, and the attempted tip-in. Gets the ball back, Iruegbu. Shot clock back to 14. Miller Jr. Up against Majok. Got an option out wide, and this has been picked up. And the attempt, well, there's a reverse dunk. That is sensational from Ismail Condé.
It's very smart play there from Condé. We saw them pass that ball around until they had a good option on the glass, and they took it, because it's very different, you know, when you play against Petro in that paint, and they've been moving nicely in and on defense.
Good assist there from Fofana as well to get Condé into that position as we again go to the free throw line. And Moraes, well, you wouldn't bet against him not scoring.
Yes, he's a man who has, you know, played and brings so much experience to this Petro side. He is one of the most effective players to come out of Angola. He's the captain of the team, and he wants to lead by example. And those could be... That is actually his first point outside of the three-point line.
Yeah, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And he's up to 14. Can you imagine that?
Absolutely
4
incredible.
threes and a pair of 2s. Could be playing a game of cards. 37-52. It's a 15-point advantage. That's a good option. He didn't go for the points on that occasion, which was his call, but they get possession back.
Nwabuzor had a good eye on the basket, but when he saw Majok, he decided to change his options. He didn't want to be in that class of people being blocked here today.
That's lovely from Condé. Just a little hook shot over the top of Majok to get 2 points and just reduce the arrears to 13. And we got less than a minute to go.
Absolutely, that's 10 points for Condé as well. Second SLAC player here to amass 10 points, the other being Nwabuzor.
Buyamba, that's nicely done. And a little bit frustrating there because you could see that Condé was really, he saw that coming, he got his hand in the way, he's just stepped over the line, so they will get possession back. And they give it to that man, Majok, and he's just going to go and score the points, isn't he? You've got to keep very aware. They'll get the quick pass, and it all happened before they could actually stabilize their defense.
It is 8 points for Majok coming off the bench. He's put in heavy minutes.
Majok, get out of there. Another big block, but I think it was coming down. So that's goaltending. 2 points count.
Well, SLAC will take the 2 points. Very timely for them. They need to stay in this one because Petro look like they're really pulling away, and they have a double-digit lead now.
13 points to the good. Diabate wants Buyamba. He wants the screen. Oh, there's contacts in the face of Fofana. Long-range shot coming from Moraes. And there's the rebound. Perfectly executed there by Buyamba.
Oh, SLAC will be very disappointed with that defense. It looks like they're switching off. They need to refocus, because when you play against a team like Petro that is very deep, and on the bench you have players like Majok and Diabate coming off of the bench, you have to, you know, be ready to do the job.
4.3 seconds, as you can see, and the call out, the timeout has been called just to give them a chance, because they get possession back, and that will give them a chance to organize themselves to play so that they can just extend that advantage, because at the moment, a 15-point lead here for Petro Luanda, and well, the Angolans just being very meticulous again, the way that we expect them to.
Absolutely. Coach Jose Neto is very particular. He's a man that likes to over-prepare, and you can see that in the way that his team has been able to pull out and pull away from the seesaw that was happening earlier with SLAC. It was 31 up for both teams, but since then things have turned around and they've gone on a whole incredible run, and now they have a 15-point lead. And it's 10 points and 2 rebounds for that man, Nwabuzo. He's been trying to do all the work from the perimeter, from inside the paint. He's been very important for them, and you can see that they've been trying to give him the ball, but he cannot play alone. His teammates will have to step up and contribute to this charge against the giants of the Nile Conference.
Murray's going up for 3, doesn't fall, and that's been knocked down, and they got a chance to score, but it's a little bit too late, and that is the end of the half. So the play doesn't happen, doesn't produce the points. Still a 15-point lead, though, a very handsome, a very healthy lead for Petro Luanda. SLAC, well, they've got some work to do. The team from Guinea-Conakry trail by 15. For half-time scores here, SLAC 41, Petro Luanda 56. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with the highlights from the first half. We're ready to get back underway here in Cairo. It's time for us to see how SLAC reacts to the Petro Luanda movement that we saw in that second quarter.
Well, both teams have returned with their starting 5 players and ready to go again. Fresh legs from that break. And SLAC, of course, trying to penetrate that zone of defense from Petro.
Inaugural getting the ball out wide for Fana for 3. The shots doesn't find its way. Miller gets the ball out. Oh, wow, that's just remarkable defense there from Pedro. And he gets picked up onto his feet, and they give possession back to Petro.
Looking at the replay there, the idea was great from Nwabuzo, but he found a man mountain there in Pedro, who sends the ball out of the way. And Pedro will be proud of that block.
Johnny Pedro, and afterwards he keeps it in possession, it knocks it out, and they have ball in hands. Pedro Gonçalves around the outside, into the middle. That is beautifully done. Pedro, defense, offense, big moves from the big man.
It's a perfect way to start the third quarter from Johnny Pedro, and great combination from Gonçalves.
Ball's been stolen there, touch on the ground. Egbu back up on his feet, given a helping hand. Look how frustrating that's already the phases of play since the start of the third quarter has been. But it's all about Johnny Pedro and a loss of possession.
Yeah, it's a big 1 minute for him as Petro tried to maintain that lead and build it, looking for options on the offensive side.
Gaku back on. This is Dundao going up for a score, and look at the rebound. Offensive masterpiece there from Johnny Pedro.
It's a quick 6 points there from Pedro at the start of this third quarter.
Well, this is the scenario that we know is so. It happens all the time with Petro Luanda. As the long-range shot goes up in the air, there is contact, and Nwabuzo back down on the ground. Moraes, and he'll go to the free throw line, and he should get three shots as well.
Yeah, 3 shots, 3 personal fouls for Carlos Moraes. No panic from the Petro bench. He will stay on the court. He's a senior player, veteran, brings so much quality to the Angolan champions. But that man, Nwabuzo, scores the first point for SLAC in this third quarter. They needed that. They needed the breather, even with that break, for him to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, they needed definitely that. It's all about the threes, isn't it? And talking about the threes, because we are 3, Q. Did we expect Petro Luanda to hit so hard, so quickly, coming into that third quarter?
Well, you definitely expect that. And one aspect of their game that we haven't spoken about is, again, their bench scoring. It's been exquisite. They've got 30 bench points, and Damian Hollis are a big part of that. But they just find different ways of hurting you, and that's the reason they have the most efficient offense and the best defense in this conference. It's just the depth of this team.
All helping each other and all making it all work. Petro gets the pass again, and there's contact there, and I think, is that Miller Jr. who just got caught up? I don't think it is. I think it might be Condé. It's Nwabuzor, isn't it, who just backed up into Petro, so he picks up his third foul. Dundao, that's how to get rid of your man. Gaku back out to Dundao. Shot clock down to 5. He goes for the layup, and that is beautiful acceleration and a very fast zip from the playmaker.
It was a highway there for Dundao, and he executed nicely.
Nwabuzor finding space, still going. Oh, contacts from Gonsalves. Nwabuzor goes down, and another 2 shots from the free throw line. Drawing the fouls they are, but at the same time, the defense is pretty aggressive from Petro.
Oh, you see that Coach Jose Neto, he switched up their defense. They were struggling to stop SLAC in that first quarter, but now every possession, they've decided to play zono man or zono defense, and it's working so far. So right now, it looks like SLAC will only score from the free throw line, and in this case, Nwabuzor.
Unless Dane Miller Jr. has something to say about that. Coach Zečević, he really needs to have his players understand how he needs to try and find those flaws in what they're trying to achieve, but it's really complicated because they're a flawless team.
They are indeed a flawless team. They've learned so many lessons in the past 2 seasons and are now the only team remaining in season 3 to have played in 3 seasons of the BAL.
They're not a flawless team, they're a flawless team. They've got a basement and they know how to construct, Usher.
Construct it is indeed.
Look at that. Oh, that's just not in, but it doesn't matter. Look where he put himself in that position. They go charging, and Nwabuzor goes up, and he tries to get himself the layup. Lots of traffic down there, taken up by Moraes. And there's Gaku, who goes down under pressure, and the foul committed there. Miller Jr.
It was a nice assist from Moraes there for Gaku, but Miller Jr.
No, I think it's Dumboya.
Dumboya?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he commits the foul on that occasion. Just came across and got in his way.
There you go as Gaku heads to the free throw line. His father is from Guinea, but has been leaving and plays for the Angolan national team. With his performance here, he's of course putting himself in a good position to represent Angola this summer at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Asia.
In the Philippines, in Japan as well. It's going to be very exciting. There's a foul going against... I think it's going against Dundao, isn't it? There you go. It's an off-the-ball instant. There it is. You can see it on Dumboya. Hence the reason why I saw Johnny Pedro and he's going, nah, that's surely not me. And then he was smiling, and then we saw what happened off the ball. Dundao getting caught up and snagged. And that's going to be against Condé. They're going to give possession back to Petro Luanda. That's a mistake, that is. Second foul for him.
Well, Condé could have avoided that if he actually placed the screen in the right way, but he literally put his hip, and once there's movement, it's definitely a foul, and that's a foul that is very unwelcome in the SLAC team. And on the bench, 2 for Condé, too early in this third quarter.
He goes high off the glass and down, hence the reason he wants to stay away from the octopus tentacles. That makes sense. Iroegbu, the Nigerian. Nwabuzor looks for options. That's nicely done. It floats, but it doesn't sink. Picked up Dundao. He goes very quickly. Oh, by the back! And a sensational dunk coming from that man Gonçalves. How about that from Dundao? Childe Dundao. Oh, outrageously good.
Absolutely incredible there. The assist that he decides to give Lukeni. Lukeni makes no mistake. Nice dunk there with the left hand precision. And it is a poster on Dan Miller Jr.
45-68. We need to take a breather. Cairo is the place to be. Egypt is the place to be. SLAC, Petro, Luanda. This is game 4 of the Nile Conference for these two outfits. 45 points for the West Africans, 68 for Petro Luanda. The Giants from Angola, they pick the ball up. It's an opportunity, and it's a score as well. And a fine one from Emeka Nwabuzor of Nigeria, the 27-year-old.
Well, looking at how Petro set up with that full court press, didn't work out on that particular possession. They'll have to make some changes.
Oh, Dundao from downtown. That is damaging for SLAC.
Incredible finish there from Dundao.
Showing us and coming to the fore and underlining the importance that he has in this team. He's been hitting some big three-pointers in the early games that they played. As that long-range shot doesn't go in, picked up by Pedro, tidied up at the back. Gonçalves takes it up court. He goes driving through the traffic, pulls it back out. Gaku fakes. Oh, a little bit of loss of possession. That's very rare. Down into the path. Miller goes up and gets it rammed down.
Miller Jr., he's been hustling in that paint, and now he gets easy 2 points. He'll take them on the shoulder, those ones, and build on that on defense.
Boyamba, Gaku. Trying to get a little movement there on Condé to find some space and get a shot in. Foul has been committed, and it's Condé who's now up to 3. This will give us a chance to go across to Q, who was listening in and surely doing a little bit of secret spying that you can only share with us two here, Q. What was talked about?
Well, Coach Jose Neto, again, were called just out of that timeout, emphasizing execution. He wants his team to continue playing the way that they have been. You've seen different styles of ball distribution. He is trying a couple of different looks on the defensive end, but wants the same execution down the stretch, and he's not taking his foot off the gas at all.
Yeah, you can see that, and that's not in his manner, is it, to stop his players from playing until the final buzzer, because that's just how he delivers, that's how he coaches. It's full on, the adjustments always brought into his game if necessary. Miller Jr. goes up, that's a nice floater over the top, an important pair of points there that will take them beyond the 50-point barrier.
It's a big bucket there for Miller Jr. 4 straight points for him on 2 possessions, and it just keeps them alive in this one, SLAC.
Dundao for another 3-pointer. Everything that he's doing is working tonight. He goes into double figures, 10 points now for the playmaker.
That's his second 3-pointer, and very impressive. And that's the thing about this Petro side. When you think it's Carlos Moraes shooting the threes, then in comes Johnny Pedro, then in comes Lukeni, then on the other side, it's Dundao. It's really a well-oiled side, this Petro de Luanda team.
Yeah, Dundao enjoying his moment there as we see Gaku picking up his 3rd foul. So that's two players on 3 fouls for Petro Luanda. Bit concerning, but not too concerning. 4 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. As you can see there, Gaku just going to take a breather. And Johnny Pedro comes back on. Sorry, Gaku's still on court. Into the hands of Gaku. Gonçalves tries to find space. Doesn't find its way to the right person. Just getting in the way and making it complicated was that man, Mara. Here's Dane Miller Jr. Tries to get rid. Find his way through, draws the foul despite the swatting maneuver, and that's Gaku's 4th, I think.
It's a very difficult game for him. You wonder if he's having jitters because he's playing against his countrymen. This is a player who is averaging 11 points per game in the Nile Conference from 3 games, but on the board right now, he has 3 points, he has 4 personal fouls, And you can see why Coach Jose Neto is choosing to bring on Damian Hollis.
Miller just nudging his tally up to 15. And Gaku does go to the bench with Damian Hollis coming on to replace him. And two fine shots from the free throw line. Dundao goes up, quick, fast moves. Buyamba, Dundao. Good acceleration, that is sublime there, and Petro just at the right place. He follows him, he's in his shadow all the time because he knows that if it doesn't go in, he's already there for the rebound. Great work and great vision from Petro.
And that's the mark of a great center, always following up, not leaving anything for chance.
That's a great score as well from Dane Miller Jr., who just also carves up the paint to make sure that he gets points to reel in that lead. It's a 21-point lead. Buyamba made safe by Mara and brought up court by Miller Jr. Well, his foot was over the line. They get possession back. Very frustrating there for Fofana.
And that's really smart play from Coach Jose Neto to force SLAC into a lot of thinking with the ball, because they know that if they frustrate them, they're not able to run that transition play that has been very key for them in this tournament so far. And it's worked on this possession. They've gained back the ball, and now they can extend that lead that they have, Petro de Luanda.
And they got a change as well. Gaston Domingos coming on to replace Dundao. Majok as well. Gonsalves down towards the baseline. Looks for options. Little turn, that's nicely done. Just can't get the points. Majok picks it up. Shot clock down to 8 seconds. And good work. Buyamba unable to get that. And that is a wonderful pass and a fantastic score from Fofana. Brilliant dunk, brilliant pass, brilliant vision. All about SLAC.
It's been a quiet day out for Fofana. That's just 4 points for him, but it's been tough. He's been doing so much of the work on defense, and finally he's rewarded.
That's exceptional from Hollis, teeing up Majok for the alley-oop.
Great combination there from the big man, and that's sort of what Neto wants from the duo.
Miller goes outside. Noabuzor back to Miller. Miller, he's got the screen, just drops it over the top, doesn't fall. Majok in the way, blocking his view. Still 21-point lead. Here's Hollis. Hollis. Well, that's going to be an offensive foul there. He had his feet cemented down on the ground, Noabuzor, and he wasn't budging. Hollis a little bit frustrated.
It was really a mismatch there between Hollis and Noabuzor, but he's been incredible on offense. Earlier combining with that man, Ater Majok, for the easy dunk, just to get that confidence going for the big boys.
Yeah, that was sensational, wasn't it? There was one player who was isolated that enabled them to Majok to move into space, and the score big time as Miller Jr. goes again. Looking for the screen. That's a good pass. That is nicely done. And a little tip in, but there is contact, and the contact is on Conde. No, it is not. The goaltending is the call going against SLAC. And it's Conde who was trying to put it in when he didn't, when he's not allowed. Had his fingers burnt.
Well, it's a good strategy from Zečević to spread the court out and allow his players to be in one-on-one possessions, but it's not yet working out as both teams are in the red.
Good defensive play there on Majok. 3 players just preventing the big man from rising up from underneath the basket to do what he loves to do. Noabuzor, he's been surrounded by giants. That's a good pass indeed into the hands of the big man, Conde, but he can't get that down. And Petro pick up the ball and run up court. Diabate calms things down. We've got 35 seconds left in this third quarter. And a 21-point advantage for Petro. Whoa, flying over the top. Buyamba for three. Made safe at the back. Good work from Conde. Miller goes up. And good work underneath the basket for the rebounds, but they can't get the score. A bit frustrating for SLAC as they didn't score with the final play of that third quarter. And the scores here in Cairo, 58 for SLAC, Petro and Luanda with 79. As we take a break before the final quarter here in Egypt. 58-79, Petro and Luanda on the cusp, 10 minutes away from booking their place in the finals in Kigali. And, well, they're not that far away. They're playing some exceptional basketball, and they're just stopping SLAC from coming back into this. 9 3-pointers from 18. They're at 50%. Only 2 from 12 for Guinea. And the field goal percentage is high for Petro Luanda compared to their opponents. Otherwise, pretty level. But it's what they've been doing from outside that's been really turning their performance into something quite special. And the bench points, we talked about the bench points earlier. It's been big, isn't it, tonight? It's
been big, and that's sort of the quality that the Angolan champions have. You see that SLAC have only scored 2 points from the bench, and on the other side, you have 32 of Petro's 79 coming off the bench. And that is sort of the difference, but also from the three-point line for Petro.
Miller Jr. makes his statement once again. A steal and a score. 19 points. Hey, we've seen SLAC provide us with some fireworks, some comeback material in the past. Let's see what they can do again.
I don't think that they have the legs to do that.
That was very, very close in being something quite special from Mara as he tried to swat away Majok as he rose up to try and score that dunk underneath the basket.
Well, when you have, when you come up against a player like Majok, you want to prove a point in that case. But Gerson Domingos will go to the line. He's a son of an Angolan basketball legend. He's a assistant coach of one of the teams in the league, Helde Domingos. And he's just trying to write his own story here as well with Petro.
Q, we're going to come across to you. What's the lay of the land? What did you pick up anything following those timeouts?
Well, one does get the sense that Petro's starting to find some of the systems there, going with Majok a lot in the paint. They're trying to get him as many touches as possible, because I think it's in anticipation of the matchup that is going to come with Ahly. The paint is going to be an area that they focus on. So the more touches they get to the bigs, the more they have their bigs in the system, the better it is for them.
Omar Arabi, I think, is probably one of the players that we're thinking about when we talk about Ahly and the battle between those two teams. And that is going to be some big confrontation. Duregbu trying to find a little bit of space. Time running out. It's been given to Hollis. It's been given to Majok. Majok. Miller Jr. just knocking the ball out of his hands. Majok tries to go again. Oh, he gets knocked off his feet there and hauled back up onto his feet by Miller Jr., who will take it on the chin. I think that's going to be his third foul.
It is his third foul, Miller Jr., but he's really put in heavy minutes with SLAC. He will not be going off the court because he has 3 fouls. He's a trusted player, very dependable for the Guinean champions. They need him there doing the right thing on both sides of that court, and one of those things is coming up against a player like Majok.
Miller Jr. gets it into the hands of Iroegbu. Not even in double figures tonight. He'll want to change that. He's got such a wonderful game, but he's getting caught up there. Majok does the business. There's no foul, there's no knockout by a Petro player, so they have possession. Frustration continues for the Nigerian. And here he is, Gerson Domingos. Hollis gets rid of Miller Jr., goes up. And I think that's Miller Jr. once again who commits the foul on... No, it isn't. It's actually good defensive play. And they will get possession back and be quite happy about that, SLAC.
Yeah, it gives them an opportunity to reduce that deficit in this game. There's so much time on the clock. They can turn things around. They've shown that they can in the past in this tournament, and they want to build on that.
Miller up against Hollis, goes up and tries to float one over the top. Hollis makes it safe, gets it back out. Buyamba, oh. And he was moving. He's gone down and he's on the ground, not in a great place. Let's hope that he's okay. Iroegbu.
Well, it looks like Buyamba.
So Iroegbu picks up the foul because there's just a little bit of movement, I think.
Yeah. Buyamba has some blood on his face, so he'll head to the bench to get some treatment. As Bastos comes onto the court.
First outing in the encounter for Pedro Bastos. 18 points down. SLAC and Petro Luanda in possession. Diabate, Hollis, Majok, Solo Diabate. Solo Diabate, that's beautifully done. Majok with the dunk on the offensive rebound.
You can see the brotherly connection there with Diabate. He knows him inside and out. They played together with US Monastir, won a championship. And so much to play for here as they look for that ticket to Kigali for the playoffs later this month.
It's the third foul for Hollis. Diabate's just so competitive, isn't he?
It's very competitive, and it has really helped that he went and joined Petro de Luanda for their entire regular season. They won the championship right before they came here to Cairo. They secured their place in season 4 of the BAL, and they want to use that momentum here in the Nile Conference, but also to just send a big message to any competing team here in season 3 that they're coming for that title, but they have to take care of the ball, they have to be consistent, and they need not to lose focus in this game. You can see the seriousness there on Coach Neto's face.
Just behind him is Q, who's got some information for us.
Yeah, Buyamba is going to go have his cut seen to. Probably going to take a couple of stitches. He's got a big cut above his left eye and he's gone to the... He's gone behind the curtain and he should be back, and I'm pretty sure we might even see him back on the floor.
We nearly had something sensational there from Majok, just a little bit too high. The attempted pass over the top for the alley-oop. I couldn't get it down as they go again. That's a big score coming from that man, Petro Bastos. Makes his impact immediately.
That's a big one from Bastos, and the celebration there and what it means to him and his teammates.
Yeah, he's soaring with the big shot. 62-87, they make it a 25-point lead. And a bit of contact on Dane Miller Jr.
And it is a third personal foul for Majok on that defense. But the instructions are really very clear from Coach Jose Neto. He doesn't want SLAC to get so much confidence with the ball. They'll have to earn every point that they score going forward in this last quarter.
Coach Neto just applying a towel for Dane Miller Jr. of SLAC, which was a nice gesture. around the outside. Iroegbu, the Nigerian, they need to get points. They need to try and work. Conde goes through the thicket. That's a great score from Conde. Manages to just weave between the Giants to find the points, 64-87. Domingos out wide. Bastos. Hollis picks it up. Tries to maneuver in the paint. Doesn't happen. Surrounded by a very busy defense, and that's going to be a foul by Solo Diabate, and that'll be his first foul tonight.
He's been putting in a lot of minutes on defense, trying to destabilize the backcourt of SLAC. They've been quick on their feet, the Guinean champions, but against Petro, especially in this second half of the game, they've calmed down.
Big score from Iroegbu. Big score indeed. That was needed. 2 points just inside of the arc, of course. Bastos up against Mara. Majok picks it up from downtown. Diabate goes himself, puts it up for Majok. They've got some moves. It doesn't come up on that occasion, but they've definitely got some moves.
He's been trying to set him up for 2 straight times now, but it's not working out. But when the connection comes,
the whole arena roof will fly off into the sky.
Absolutely. Well, now Damian Hollis with 4 personal fouls.
Yeah, just like Gaku with 5:24 left to play. Double dribble call, and that's a frustrating call going against Iroegbu.
It's a good defense there also from Diabate, who's kept him in check. Iroegbu comes from a basketball family. His brother Ikena, commonly known as Ike, and Chukwuemeka also play the game of basketball. Ikena has played for Nigeria alongside Uchenna as well. But it's great to see him here at the BAL Season 3.
Domingos back out to Majok. It's been swatted away, given, and they pick the ball up. SLAC out into the corner. He goes for 3. It's a big 3 as well. Scored by Noabuzo. He's up to 21.
Impressive three-pointer there. He's been putting in all the work on offense, on defense, and really they needed that. SLAC. Things were not going their way, but just getting off the ground and in acres of space and delivering, punishing Petro de Luanda, who sort of lost focus there on defense.
69 points for SLAC, Guinea-Conakry. The Angolans of Petro de Luanda, 87. Time for a break. We'll be back. The 69-87 scoreline might not be appreciated by Coach Jose Neto, but because he wants it to just stay like that or just get a little bit bigger. But the fact is that they brought it down a little bit will favor SLAC. They've just got to make sure that they don't continue to score points in the paint with Majok. And now a long-range shot from Bastos that's made safe by Conde and taken back out. Miller Jr., long-range shooting. The three-pointer doesn't fall, and it's been picked up by Majok. Good battling there, but it looks like the Mara's fouled Majok. And Mara, let's just hope that he's okay. In a bit of trouble over there.
Yeah, he looks like he's holding his hat, Mara. Could have gotten a knock there in that tussle. Let's look at the replay. He's fighting for the ball with Majok, and both of them land to the floor. But he's okay. He looks fine. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's holding his toes as though he had a little bit of cramp or something. But in any case, he's okay. He's going to go off and just take a breather. Got to protect the precious talents that he's got on the bench Zetserich, the 19-year-old, taking a break. Hugh, can you give us an update on what the state of play, Coach Zetserich, Coach Neto?
Well, yes, Mara looked like he got a blow to the chest, so he's going to take a little breather. Not looking worse for wear. He's probably going to be good to go. And Buyamba has come back from the locker room. He's got a bandage above his eye. He's got a headband on, but I think he's good to go as well.
Okay, thanks very much for that latest information. Long-range shot. Look at that. That is unreal from Gaston Domingos. 3 points, but sublimely taken. The panache from down out wide. And now a 21-point lead once again. Miller. Iroegbu, Nigeria, nice little churn. Doesn't get the range, comes back off the metal. Domingos inside of the arc. The 2-pointer doesn't fall. Very fast transition here. Dane Miller Jr. goes himself, battles through the thicket, drives up and scores.
Incredible finish there from Dan Miller Jr. He just keeps, he's really relentless. He's been asking those questions and driving into that Petro paint, and he's really been lethal for them, bringing up 22 points for the Guinean champions.
Majok, top scorer for Petro Luanda at the moment, 15 points. He's just improving game by game. You can see what he's up to as we see that layup from Dane Miller Jr. He's not afraid of just really driving hard into the paint, and just it doesn't matter who's in front of him.
And really to put context into that, and Majok coming off the bench to contribute 15 points. 11 of the 13 players for Petro de Luanda are on the scoreboard, Robbie. That's impressive. That's how deep their bench is.
Yeah, that's kind of what we expect now. Miller Jr., look at that swat, get out of there in a big way. Gaku coming to the fore, coming back on with his 4 fouls. Thrown into the corner, and a chance for Bastos. But I'm afraid that foot was over the line. 3-second violation, sorry, I do apologize. There was the Gaku defensive air traffic control maneuver. 1 block, 3 points. Low scoring game for Gaku, but physically he's really fronted up and given SLAC a lot of hassle in the paint, which is defensively. There's a bit of contact there on Bastos, who goes down. Frustration for Nwabuzor, giving the ball back to Petro.
And there's also another role really for Gaku. It is 4 personal fouls for Nwabuzor. That's danger for SLAC, but it's 2 minutes on the board to play. Not so much of a problem for Guinea,
yeah,
for the Guinean time.
Yeah, I think we just have to forget about that at the moment and just get on with it. Gaku, wonderful work in the paint. Good use of his arms. Got a massive wingspan, isn't he?
He's finally gotten some luck on the offensive side, and he'll take it.
Oh, that's nicely done. Conde just floats one over the top, sees that there's a little bit of space around him. Didn't charge towards the basket.
Absolutely, 14 points for Conde.
Majok puts it in the path. (73-92), and you can see that they'll get possession back. And here they go again. Domingos with Dundao on court, just finishing off with a flurry. And Dundao, look at the acceleration. He goes really high because that's the only way to get away from the outstretched arms and the giant wings of those big defenders.
He's really mastered the art, Dundao, driving into that paint and putting the ball high up on the glass to get those easy 2 points.
Iroegbu unable to get that long-range shot. Dundao into the corner. Domingos drives in, gets the ball back out. Bastos behind the back pass, and another Domingos effort. Gaku can't produce the reverse layup. There's another attempt at the other end. Nwabuzor goes down. The foul has been committed. and he'll go to the free throw line.
It is 4 personal fouls there from Majok. But good effort there from Petro de Luanda to play good defense, but just a replay there from Dundao. 2 defensive players there on him, and he still manages to get the 2 points. He's been incredible there for Petro, just leading from the backcourt, controlling the ball, and just being able to give Petro a good opportunity to open up and increase that double-digit lead.
First shot good for Noabuzor, 22 points. Miller Jr. 22, Noabuzor 22, Iragbu 10, and Condé 14.
Yes, indeed, and Coach Jose Neto giving an opportunity to Saif Hendawi, the Egyptian BAL Elevate player who is a 2-time African champion at under-16 and under-18 levels. He's going to the under-19 World Cup later this summer, but for now he's with Petro, just learning so much from the veterans.
And a good steal, and here we go. Miller goes up and makes sure that those points go in. He's up to 24. In fact, only one other player has scored outside of the starting 5 for SLAC, and that is Dumboya, 2 points. Otherwise, it's just been about the starting 5 for SLAC. But on the other side, different story altogether. The complete opposite. Iragbu unable to get the basket there, 77-94. Bringing it down, but there's a little bit too little too late, really, for SLAC to try and clamber back. You can see that the lead is still pretty strong as Gaku has his game come to an end with the 5 fouls.
Gaku, he's fouled out, but nothing much to worry about for the Angolan champions, as we see 14 points for Condé, 10 rebounds. He's really put in a great shift there. The man from Matoto neighborhood in Conakry, known to produce some of the biggest sports legends in Guinea, in West Africa, and just enjoying his time out here in Egypt in the Nile Conference. But the goal remains to try and qualify for the playoffs in Kigali. Now they have a mountain to climb, but they'll still continue to knock on that door.
Noabuzor hits his second. Saifeldin Henwai coming on to Hendawi coming on to play. There's Hollis. Hollis goes up. He's got a chance to go to the free throw line. Hendawi is the young NBA Elevate player from Egypt in his own backyard, playing for the Giants of Petro Luanda. What a great privilege it is to understand the systems, the masterminds behind what Petro Luanda have achieved. It must be a great achievement, a great privilege for him to be amongst these youngsters.
Absolutely.
And veterans, of course.
Yeah, I mean, when you have players like Moraes on the same team, you kind of take that in and smile away. But also, really, there's so many people in the stands who are happy to see their very own tussling it out with a foreign team. And for Hendawi, it's just really another opportunity to show what he can do.
Yeah, only Anaji Chime is the player who hasn't scored, but he hasn't come on. So that's the only reason. Every other player has scored that's come on and played any seconds. As we see Noabuzor trying to get the ball out. Miller going for it. We got 16, 15 seconds remaining before the end of this encounter. It comes out, and now he goes up, unable to drop in, and a last chance shot. And it's a bucket, but might not count. It doesn't really matter. Iragbu going up, and the final score here in Cairo is SLAC 78, Petro Luanda 95.
Yes, looking at this performance, Petro de Luanda book their ticket to the playoffs in Kigali. Incredible from the Angolan champions. This is exactly what is expected from them. They've been sublime in every performance. They had a chance to, for the second time in this tournament, score 100, but they didn't manage to do that. But it's fine.
Final score, SLAC 78, Petro Luanda 95. Petro Luanda going to Kigali with 4 wins from 4.
Well, it is their lowest scoring and winning margin in this tournament. They beat the City Oilers by 18, they beat Beira by 25, they beat the Cape Town Tigers by 39, and they've beaten now SLAC by 17 points. It's an impressive victory there for Jose Neto's side, and a perfect way to celebrate his son's 15th birthday. Mathieu Muller is a football player. He's not playing the game of basketball, but he'll be smiling all the way from Luanda, saying that he's proud of his father leading the Petro de Luanda side to victory here tonight in Cairo.
So what we got to look at is Petro Luanda are the team to beat. They've provided us with some wonderful basketball. I think that they've showed that they make adjustments, that they're smart enough to understand exactly how to beat a team, how to move their players into the right position, how they make those adjustments. Coach Neto working hard to bring in the right players to who understand the systems that they put in place. And over the course of the last few seasons, you can understand that they're a machine that are working well. They're well-oiled, they're going in the right direction, and they'll be very, very content with what they've achieved so far. And they'll be very happy with this result. 78-95, solid performance, very much for Petro Luanda, who will be obviously focused now on finishing off with that final battle against Ahly here in Cairo, which is going to be an exceptional showdown in the day after tomorrow.
This definitely sets them up nicely for that fixture against Ahly. It is the battle of the giants, but tonight they'll take this victory and celebrate it and know that they've earned and deserved this win, and now they can say comfortably that, hey, you know what, we deserve to be in this place. And also, of course, because US Monastir were eliminated from the tournament after failing to qualify from the Sahara Conference, it puts Petro in a prime position to do well and perhaps to have a shot at the title next in about a fortnight from now.
And this is really nice because, you know, there's Atem Ajok. You've got to look at this. All of the kids absolutely love him. These kids from South Sudan, of course. This is just magical. And we're really, really appreciative of, you know, what he brings to the game in Africa and what he does as we take a look at the final game stats.
Looking at the stats, you've got the feeling that SLAC started off very well in that first quarter, but they struggled in the second and the third when Petro decided to run a lot of their transitional play and starting to shoot those threes. That's where the difference was. And that man, Carlos Moraes, dropping 4 straight 3-pointers to open up the floor, and eventually 11 of 24 attempts, with Dundao also doing an incredible job behind the arc. It's an amazing performance for Petro de Luanda. They'll be pleased with that, but SLAC can hold their heads up high and know that they put up a great fight tonight.
Yeah, very big fight indeed. And let's take a look at the personals with Miller Jr. 24 points, 5 rebounds, played his heart out, put in a very strong performance, just like Nwabuzor as well, 23 with 3 rebounds. Conde up there, and Iroegbu with double figures. Look at that, it's a double-double for Ismail Conde, of course, for SLAC, putting in a strong performance there. And then Fofana there with 4 and 3. On the other side, Majok, outstanding with 15-7. Moraes, 14 and 3. And look at that from Johnny Pedro, always playing an integral part with 12-7. Dundao, 12 and 3. And then look at this, Hollis off the bench, 11 points and 10 rebounds.
That's a big performance there from Hollis coming off the bench, and that's the cover that you expect him to provide in the absence of Majok and Pedro, who take breaks once in a while, which is amazing to see.
Now let's catch up and get a reaction from Atem Ajok for Petro Luanda.
Courtside now with Atem Ajok, 15.7 rebounds, but more importantly, the win. It feels like you're finding your place in the Petro system.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different system from what I'm used to, but I'm getting the feel of it. The most important thing to me is that I feel at home. You know, the guys welcome me, and they're like my brothers now, and we just fight together. We have fun, we enjoy, and, you know, that's the most important thing. On the court, that will come with the chemistry and over time. So
4 wins secures you the qualification place. You're on your way to Kigali. The emphasis tomorrow, the game against Ahly, does it have any extra importance?
I mean, it's just another game. We just take it one game at a time. No game is more important than another game. It's just every day. It's like we go in step by step. So tomorrow we go in Ahly. We prepare for Ahly. We rest today. That's about it.
Just talk about moment with the fans. Is this just appreciation for the people that come out and support you?
Yeah, I mean, just the fans that come out and support, all the South Sudanese guys, Nooney and all the young fellas, it's building the brand, the BAL brand. And, you got to go out and engage with the fans and show love and thanking them for coming. So, it's just building the brand of the BAL. We all ambassadors here now, and I've embraced that. So.
You had a fantastic performance. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, still a lot to come. Don't worry. I'm not satisfied yet. I'm not satisfied. You know how I do. We always go and fight to the end.
There we have it. Well, that's nice to hear, isn't it? Well, there's more to come. That's exciting when you hear Mad Jock speak like that. SLAC 78, Petro Luanda 95. Look what's coming up. Beira, Cape Town Tigers, 1 win each. They have to go out and get the victory. They have to go out and provide us with some fireworks, because whoever wins the second got a great chance of qualifying. Petro Luanda Ahly, that's on Friday, the first game. The City Oilers Beira, the second. So much basketball to be played. And we'll now take a look at the standings. And the standings will... we'll just talk about the standings. Petro Luanda qualified with 4 wins, and that basically means that they are pretty much guaranteed their place in Kigali.
Honestly, everyone expected Petro de Luanda to win 4 in 4 ahead of Ahly on Friday, but they have the victory tonight. They'll go and celebrate. So much basketball to play today coming up. Robbie.
Thanks very much. There we have the standings with 4 from 4. Ahly 3 from 3. Beira 3 and 1. Beira Cape Town Tigers next up. That's going to be an absolute pivotal encounter between the giants from Mozambique and South Africa. Looking forward to that. Thank you, Usher. Thank you, Q. Thank you to the team. And we are about to just go and take a breather before we prepare for that showdown between the Mozambique Giants of Beira, Cape Town Tigers of South Africa.